Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me, as always,
Eric Icarus.
Ooh, brother. So we kind of had this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do something. We're on the heels of just this big change in the MCU film universe. And I know we talk about it a lot, guys, but we just love it, and we know you love it too.
You love it too. Don't act like you don't.
So we thought we would do a series. I haven't come up with a name yet for it. It'll be in the title when this episode is done.
Yeah.
But we kind of want to reflect and look back on the MCU trilogies, or at least the movies thus far, but kind of in their self-contained character.
There you go.
And to start it off, we're going to start off with basically what started it all for the MCU, and that's Iron Man.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think the trilogy is very solid.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Which is your favorite of the three?
The first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think everyone's jaw's about to hit the floor, because what's your favorite one?
My favorite one is the third one.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 is my favorite Iron Man film.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I get why people don't like it, but I don't know. I'm a big Shane Black fan.
Yep.
It resonated with me well, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So we just kind of wanted to talk about some
favorite
of the
movies.
Yeah.
Our favorite parts from the movies.
Yes,
right?
just some high points. What was so different? I mean, in 2008 when Iron Man comes out, we're 8 years since X-Men 1.
Right.
At this point, we've had like 2 X-Men movies, I think a Wolverine film, 2 Spider-Man movies, a Batman, it was a Batman world. Batman Begins came out a couple years before that, and just, that was the bar.
Right.
And Iron Man was just hoping to get something like
and
that.
Then Dark Knight came out that same year too, right?
No. Dark Knight's, yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
It was 2008. Yeah. It came out that summer, I believe, yeah.
So yeah, was that Incredible Hulk?
We'll get there.
But they're just trying to get there. But what makes this one resonate? Why is Iron Man quite possibly the greatest film superhero?
Right.
And let's start with Iron Man 1.
Of course. For me, it's the definitive origin story.
Okay.
Like, within the first 5 minutes, you set up RDJ's character. You set up Tony Stark within those first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's snarky. He's funny. You can tell he's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And just with his interactions with the soldiers.
Yeah.
And what's cool is as soon as that convoy gets attacked, he has that self-reflection of seeing his own bomb blow him up. Mm-hmm. And you see it all in his face.
Yeah.
Which is a credit to RDJ.
Yes.
And then we get that amazing cave scene.
Oh, yeah.
And then, it's funny, we talked about this earlier. If it wasn't for that other man in the cave.
Yeah, Yinsen is his name.
We would not. He saved the universe, technically.
Yeah,
If you want to get technical.
Yeah, there needs to be some love thrown Yinsen's way at the end of Endgame, because if he doesn't sacrifice himself to get Tony out of there, it's so weird that just that's such a good butterfly effect.
For sure.
He doesn't sacrifice himself. We don't. I mean, Thanos just wins in Avengers 1.
Yep.
He just wins. I like the introduction of the 10 rings.
Oh, right.
Just that little bit, and they don't even talk about the Mandarin. You just kind of see the symbol,
Yep.
and then obviously the reference to the rings that he wears on all of his fingers.
Yeah.
And oh man, I just remember talking about that with your dad and being like, dude, did you catch that? And he did not.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, the 10 rings, Mandarin. And he might have actually done it to me. Now, I might be remembering it incorrectly.
But either way,
it was
still crazy.
It was a jaw-dropping thing.
I mean, and we get the Mark I outfit from the first issue of Iron Man.
Yeah.
Or what is it? Amazing.
It's Tales of Suspense 28.
There we go. Yeah, and I mean that, and then arguably probably one of my favorite Marvel villains, Obadiah Stane.
Yeah, Obadiah Stane
Yeah.
as the Ironmonger.
Yeah.
And such a cool way to tie him in that he's like, oh, he is the other side of the coin to Howard Stark.
Sure.
And I gotta wonder if Obadiah Stane is Hydra. We never get there, but part of me wonders if he was Hydra.
I don't think he has the capacity to follow orders like that. He wants to be
the guy in
charge. I don't see anybody giving him orders. You know what I mean? Like, you remember when he gets to Afghanistan trying to get the remnants of the suit?
Yeah.
And they're trying to punk him around.
Yeah.
He ain't having that.
That's true.
So I don't see it.
Okay, fair enough. I have another one for you later in the second movie,
for sure.
We'll get there.
We got to give a lot of credit to Jon Favreau.
Uh-huh.
Like, this doesn't happen without Favs.
Yeah. You know,
it really doesn't.
A guy who can stay on budget, a guy who can stay on schedule, and you know, I remember when we heard that it was Favs because we're big swingers,
Maid fans, yep.
And we were just like, man, how is he going to do this?
Yeah.
And like we were wondering if Vince Vaughn was going to be Iron Man. Like it was just there was a lot of gray area, and I can't say that I was over the moon. Excited about it.
But it was intriguing.
It was just like, all right, well,
let's see what happens. Because at this point he had done Zathura.
Yeah, he had done Zathura.
And then Maid, and then
Elf had already been out.
That's right.
Elf had already been out, which I can't stand, and people love.
I enjoy the movie. You know, and another cool thing that Favreau does in this movie is he grounds it.
Uh-huh.
You can kind of see this stuff like, oh, this isn't too fantastical. Like, you can kind of see this as attainable tech, but, you know, somewhere in the future. You know,
you can figure it out.
Yeah.
That somebody out there could do it if they had the means.
Right. You know, and then Pepper. I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow knocks it out of the park.
She's so good in here.
And she really is. And then I remember getting the cast news for her, and I'm not a huge fan of hers at this point.
Yeah.
And just liking her in Seven. Was it. You know?
You didn't like Bounce with Ben Affleck?
You know, and then, of course, you know, Fav's playing Happy Hogan. Like,
we got a lot of cool first appearance characters that then still resonate to this day. 11 years later, they still resonate in the films, and we're excited. Yeah, like you said, Happy Hogan. When he's in the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, it's like, we're excited about that.
Yeah.
Like, we're excited as fans.
Exactly.
Agent Coulson.
Created
specifically for Iron Man. And then the introduction of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Exactly. And then we get our Nick Fury at the end.
At the end. I mean, that stuff is so just out of bounds, crazy, bananas. And it's like, you know, they weren't sure. They had no idea where they were going. No idea where they were going. They just knew... If we drop all of these Easter eggs, if we plant all these seeds, something's got to grow.
Right.
You know?
I mean...
And honestly, when I got out of Iron Man 1, when I watched it, when the credits roll, I was like, man, that was a good, maybe C+, B movie for me.
Oh, wow.
I was just like, because Batman Begins had set such a high standard for me.
Yeah. I get it.
And then when the Nick Fury scene happens... I was like, it pushed it. It was a B+, A-. It was such a swing when I saw Nick Fury and when he says the Avengers Initiative.
Right.
When he says that, it opened my mind to so much more. It's like I was watching it through toilet paper rolls.
Sure.
And then when he did that, the rolls were gone. I could see
the universe,
the road. Yeah. You know. It was so weird. It pushed me over the edge.
Oh, for me, I walked out of there thinking this was an A.
Yeah,
A+, because to me it was the other side of the Batman Begins. Yeah. This was the lighter take on the superhero.
A comic book film.
Bigger you go.
Yeah, not oh, hey, I want to make a movie with Batman, but really try to make it grounded, like as if it could happen.
Sure.
You know?
And I think they kind of did it here, but, you know, Batman is doom and gloom, and Tony is, I wouldn't say he's an optimist. Mm-hmm. He's a realist.
Yeah.
But he's got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean... This doesn't happen without Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
This does not happen.
The resurrection of Robert Downey Jr. starts here.
Boom. Yeah. Hollywood had essentially given up on him at this point. I mean, I had seen him in a movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang a couple years ago, but man, I wish they would cast him in more stuff. He's amazing. And then lo and behold, Gothica was good.
Zodiac.
Yeah, he does have that. That was before Iron Man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is
like
true.
2006.
Yeah, that's 2006. Oh my God! And then of course we get our Everstay Terrence Howard.
Oh yeah.
The War Machine.
Yeah.
James Rhodes.
Yeah. Don Cheadle, you can go straight to hell. All right.
I'm just joking. I am a Don Cheadle man.
Yeah. And quite possibly one of the best intros is Jarvis as AI.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I was like. I like the old Butler Jarvis.
Yeah.
I like that idea, but it's so outdated. And we'll talk about that again for Iron Man 2 because I have something that I think is kind of funny.
You know, like you said, because we had just got Batman Begins, and of course Alfred is, he's the Butler. So I think it's brilliant how they're like, yeah, we can't do that. It's mirroring Batman
too much.
Let's make him AI.
Yeah,
you know?
and it just works so well.
Right, well, Jarvis was a real person, though, in the movie, right? In the MCU. There was a Jarvis in the MCU, right?
Well, yes, in the Peggy Carter, in the Agent Carter TV show, Howard's butler is a live Jarvis, and he's kind of the surrogate for Howard Stark. Dominic Cooper does reprise his role as a young Howard Stark. He played Howard Stark in the first Avenger, Captain America 1.
Right.
And
he was in Endgame too, right?
He was not in Endgame.
Who was that?
That was the guy who played Howard Stark in Iron Man 2.
Okay.
And he was from Mad Men. So we have two guys who do play Howard Stark in the MCU at different points in their lives. Right. But yeah, Dominic Cooper did show up several times in both seasons of Agent Carter, but kind of his surrogate on screen was Jarvis.
Okay.
You know what? Because in the first season of Agent Carter, he's under suspicion of treason, so Jarvis has access to everything.
Okay.
So Peggy and Jarvis are trying to clear Howard's name.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Nice.
And then, Howard comes and he goes, and Dominic Cooper was doing a Preacher at the time,
right.
So it was
nice.
It was hard for him
to get there.
To be just Howard Stark.
For sure.
I'm glad he got to do both, because I like his Howard Stark a lot.
Yeah, me too.
A lot.
Me too. Iron Man, first Iron Man, for me, A+, man.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. It kickstarts the MCU. It gives me... I walked out of there thinking, wow, I got a real Iron Man movie. I never thought in a million years I'd get to see an Iron Man movie.
And it still looks good. It still looks good.
There's a couple hinky parts in there, but for the most part, like, wow.
Like the scene with the like F-15s or whatever.
Right.
Like, it looks so good.
It does.
And Iron Man looks good flying.
Yeah.
There's far more that holds up in that than in a lot of films.
Yeah.
So, we had a lot of good introductions. Kind of ended a little bit on on a War Machine tease. Terrence Howard looking at a silver,
next time,
baby. Yeah, like a Mark II.
And going wah, wah, wah.
It's cool, man. You got to do Empire or whatever.
Yeah, he's fine. He's doing all right.
So yeah, that kind of wraps up. Iron Man 1. Yep. You saw just such a good movie. Like I said, for me, I wasn't blown away when I first saw it, but I did leave very happy. I think, honestly, I was more in that B+ range. And at that time, I was actually writing for a website, so I found myself being far more critical on doing movie reviews. I wasn't trying to love everything. I think there was a lot of things that played into me downplaying the success of that film. It came out, made good money, and it set up, oh, man, what can they do? Well, flash forward a couple years, we get Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the expectations are lofty.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
They're
going to follow this up.
Yeah, they're up there. And we know that we're going to get War Machine, and we know that we're going to get Black Widow.
Right.
And we know that that Whiplash is going to be the villain.
Yep.
What's his face?
Mickey Rourke. Whiplash, and then Justin Hammer is
Sam Rockwell.
The underappreciated, underused Sam Rockwell in every movie.
I know. Yeah, it's like Sam is so good with so little in everything he does.
Everything. He makes Charlie's Angels. Digestible for me. I'm like, wow, I can get through this.
I love Charlie.
I love him in that.
But I love Sam Rockwell. I love his portrayal of this Justin Hammer, because he's obviously trying to be Tony Stark.
Oh, of course.
He's obviously trying to be, and he just can't. I mean, down to the fake tan on his hands.
Right, which is a good detail.
Him having, coming back to the Jarvis thing, him having an actual butler with him.
Right, but not
but it's not the AI. Yep. So he's just janky Howard or Tony Stark. Yeah. And it's just so funny, man. He just wants it so bad, and he just can't get it. He just can't be Tony Stark, even when he does his presentation at Stark Expo, which I think Stark Expo is excellent.
That was
his presentation is a watered down version of when Tony shows up to Thunderstruck. It's just everything he does it's just a bastardized version of what Tony Stark is.
You're never going to upstage Tony Stark.
No, especially at his own
No. Oh no.
He wants those suits. He wants those suits, but he just can't figure it out.
Right. I love Tony's his speech to, he's talking, I try to remember who he's talking to, but he's like, I privatized peace.
He's talking to the Senate. He's at the Senate. He's like,
you want my technology, you can't have it. He's just so cool. Unabashedly cool, and
he's really riding high. He doesn't think he's untouchable, and that's kind of an underlying part of the story is kind of that fall, that Icarus storyline, flying so close to the sun.
Yep.
He even says, I haven't met anybody who's willing to go toe to toe with me on my best day.
Right.
And to Whiplash's respects. You know, he says, you know, if you make God bleed, people will cease to believe in him. And you can argue that his attack on Tony Stark gives the bad guys of the MCU courage.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is just a guy in a suit. And yeah, it's just such a good it's such a good metaphor for that, how those things happen. And you know, we get a new costume.
Yep.
For you know, even just as quickly as it is, but that the briefcase.
Yeah, that which is amazing.
It was awesome, man. When they showed that in the trailer, I was like,
oh,
what?
Dude.
What
was that the scene you got at Comic-Con that year?
No, the scene we got at Comic-Con is actually when War Machine, great to see War Machine in his full getup.
Yeah.
And Tony are gonna fight the Mandroids.
Oh, okay, at the end of the movie, right?
Yeah, the Hammeroids. Yeah, we saw that scene. We saw him pop the lasers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was excellent.
And then, you know, we get our Black Widow. Like, wow.
Who knew that was, again, who knew that was going to be so important?
I know.
It's so important that Scarlett Johansson is the Black Widow. She doesn't get, I think fans do really like her, but I don't think she gets her love in the public eye as much as she should.
Her and Jeremy Renner, I believe.
Yeah,
they don't get enough.
Unsung.
It's hard standing next to these colossal giants. It's hard standing next to Cap, Thor, and Iron Man.
Black Widow and Hawkeye are for us.
Yeah, right. They're the surrogates.
Yes,
for us.
like
they would be us in those situations.
You know, if it worked out, if I came up a little, I could be, you know, Hawkeye. You know,
I could be Black Widow.
Exactly. You know,
I got the frame for it.
You ain't got the booty.
That's very true. I ain't got the booty for it.
But yeah, you know, there are surrogates, and to have her, and she looked great.
Oh,
just drop dead gorgeous, cool hair. They got a great stunt double for her.
Oh, they did. No,
they
really did.
I think this movie defined a generation of stunt coordinators for female fights.
There you go.
Almost all the fights are like this now. And maybe there was another movie that set it up. This is the one that resonates.
This was probably the first one I kind of saw, honestly.
And then
that was doing that kind of gritty, not cutting too much.
Yeah, not cutting too much. The kind of Mexican wrestling kind of feel to it.
I mean, her just handing Happy his tuchus, which was hilarious. Come on, we get the Widow neck grab with the legs, and you know, that's her move, man.
Yeah, it's a good move.
It's a good move. It's a good move. If that's how I'm going out. That's how I want to go out.
Yeah. We get a good, we get good Stan cameos in the two films.
Yeah.
Where he almost looks like Larry King.
Right.
And then we get. I wanted to talk more about. I think Justin Hammer could be Hydra.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
I agree with you there.
Because to your point about Ironmonger, Obadiah Stane, yeah, he's too strong-willed, but it very much seemed like Gary Shandling's Senator character was really like, we're going to bring Justin Hammer in. Justin Hammer's taking it, and we know that he was definitely Hydra.
Yeah.
So I always wondered if Justin Hammer was Hydra.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree, because he doesn't die in Iron Man 2, right?
No.
It's just kind of a bummer we don't get him back in any capacity.
It seems like we could, they could do something, especially in these TV shows.
Sure.
To have some Hammer tech.
Stark's gone. Let's make our move.
Yeah,
something like that.
We get another kind of glimpse into Hammer tech in the Luke Cage TV show.
Oh, we do.
At the end of season 1, that the Luke Cage end boss fight. His brother has Hammer tech.
Oh, that's what that's what Constrictor's using, or who was that?
Copperhead or Cottonmouth.
It's one of those two, yeah. But that's that suit he was using.
It's from Hammer Industries.
It's from Hammer Industries.
So at least there was one more shout out to Hammer Industries.
There you go. Yeah, I mean this too. It didn't blow everyone's expectations away, which is unfair.
But I mean, we were on that boat. I was not impressed with this movie.
We weren't over the moon for it, and I think we just got a little spoiled. We were just so in love with the first movie, and we had Dark Knight out this time too. Yeah, we didn't know what we wanted at this time.
I even think I said something too where I thought, just paraphrasing myself, I even think I was like, we've had the Dark Knight come out, we've seen what a comic movie can be, and this is just a big step back. I was hating on Iron Man 2.
Okay, all right.
I didn't appreciate Iron Man 2 until Avengers came out.
Fair enough.
When Avengers came out, and I could go back, and I was like, "Oh man, this is the first appearance of
Black Widow."
Yeah, like it was like this felt like such a good companion to Avengers, and they were about a year apart.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we could say that maybe this is what maybe it not doing that well is what kind of made Favs not want to follow through with the third one, which is a bummer. I mean, granted, we got Shane Black, and that's great, but we had a couple casualties in the MCU as far as directors, and I think it's because their second movie underperformed.
Yeah, that second one is always hard to do, but I'm glad that he at least stuck around to play Hogan.
Oh, sure.
Because
he's still getting EP credits. I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's still getting money, and he got to direct Jungle Book, and he's doing Lion King, and now he's doing Mandalorian. I mean, Disney's just cutting this dude checks.
Oh, for sure.
It was definitely like a great career move for him,
right?
To just capitalize, make good money.
Definitely. I mean,
it was the weakest of the three for me.
Me too. Me too.
But the third one, like you made mention of, Favs does not come back as director. He comes back as Happy Hogan and an executive producer. But we get kind of action royalty in Shane Black.
Yes, we do. Writer and director, right?
Writer and director.
Oh no, I think Justin Theroux actually wrote Iron Man 3.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
So I think that it was. I think Shane Black wrote and directed this, and then Theroux might have been involved in number 2.
I think you're right. No, you're right. Yeah. No, you're right. So Justin, So Shane Black, writer, director, Iron Man 3.
And with this one, I really, again, this is my favorite one.
It is.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah,
it gets so much hate. It's the Avengers Age of Ultron of Iron Man
films.
There you
go, man.
It's so much hate, and I don't understand it. Friend of the show, Andy, hates Iron Man 3. He even tried. I gave it to him on Blu-ray to watch again, and he was like, "I don't like it.
Couldn't do it."
And I don't understand. I love that it's like a timepiece to an extent.
Sure.
Starts out, I think it's 99.
Yeah.
Right when the movie starts, you get Eiffel 65's Blue, and instantly I'm put back in middle school, freshman year of high school, and it put me in the right state of mind. It's like I was saying earlier, this is a great companion to Iron Man 1.
Right.
Because you see Yinsen meet Tony.
Yep.
Which he makes mention of in Iron Man 1.
Yep.
He introduces him to the guy who ends up eventually giving him heart surgery to actually save him. And it was just a great setup, like the intro of this, and then it's all about when Tony's narrating in the beginning, he's talking about making his own demons, making his own enemies.
Sure.
And he didn't know it then, but he was the course that he had been set on.
Yeah.
It's so reflective, and it just feels like such a good number 3 for
me.
If
they were to end his character, for me, this would have been a high note to go on.
Yes.
I'd have been like, I've been okay with it. Yeah. I've been sad, oh, no more Iron Man, but wow, what a good closure to his character, And, another good part to the intro is the Happy Hogan wig.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, get to see.
You pointed that out to me the other night, and I was like, oh man, I forgot how funny that wig was.
Slick black, slicked
sleaze bag.
Yeah, and there's even a moment where he is closing these sliding doors when Tony's gonna sleep with that botanist,
and he gives him that bro look.
Yeah, he's I'm gonna block this door. It was so unsettling. It really pulled me out for a second. All right, but then we get the introduction of Aldrich Killian.
Yep,
and the idea of Extremis, which is actually in the comic.
About to say for the uninitiated like myself, what is Extremis?
So very much what it is in the.
Okay.
In the film.
So it's pretty true to form?
Pretty true to form, yeah. They kind of redid Iron Man's origin in the early 2000s to kind of update it, where he was in Afghanistan instead of Vietnam.
Right.
This and that, that big clunky armor is in there.
Okay.
I can't remember if Yinsen's actually in there, but the Extremis, they call it the Extremis virus, is very much a part of it.
Okay.
And they actually, in the comic, they're more mindless, kind of powerful, heat things that can regenerate. And actually in the comic book, Tony has to infect himself with Extremis because the Extremis people are so much faster than his armor can predict. He's getting messed up by them.
Okay.
And he ends up, he actually ends up exposing himself to the Extremis, and he almost dies. But it allows him to then seamlessly unite with his armor, the armor comes out of his skin, like this little nanotech.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it just pushes him just out there.
Yeah.
That kind of OPs him a little bit.
Okay.
But for years, his armor just literally like is liquid metal coming out of his body.
Oh my
God.
God.
It's awesome. And it's because of the Extremis virus.
Okay.
Yeah, it was super, super fascinating. Adi Granov did the art. It was very detailed, very spooky at times with the Extremis people. So for me, I was like, dang, they're doing so much great comic book stuff in here.
There you go. And then is Guy Pearce's character, is he in the comic books? Is that character...
Aldrich Killian is from the comic books, but I think he is, if I remember correctly, he's more involved with AIM, which they do bring... they introduce AIM in here as well. Advanced Idea Mechanics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
AIM, famous for their beehive costumes and creating MODOK.
Oh, yeah, Mr. MODOK.
Yeah, so it was nice to kind of see that, more comic book stuff brought in, but seeing Tony Stark deal with PTSD.
Yes.
From the fallout of Avengers 1.
Right.
And then seeing what Extremis and AIM had been doing with wounded soldiers to kind of help them heal.
Right.
It was there was parallels to those things.
Right. Like this, it was started out as a way to help help people.
Yes.
And in a way it did, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. If you could regulate and not explode from your own anger. And I felt like the humor level was upped in this one.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was really funny. And it was also very serious.
Oh, yeah.
And especially given the time where it comes out, and I mean, even still, we have soldiers coming home with extreme levels of PTSD.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it was kind of interesting to see this character where he goes from Iron Man 1 to being, thinking, oh, I have money, I have power, gets kidnapped, has to create an actual suit of armor to protect himself.
Right.
Gets high on that horse in Iron Man 2, gets wounded again, has to realize what actually makes him strong.
Right.
And in this, even though he just saved the world, saved America, saved New York, saved the planet, he's having a hard time dealing with it. Because, he even says, you see things, and you're supposed to pretend like everything's okay.
Right.
Just like, I loved watching him being vulnerable.
Sure.
And him not knowing what it is. When he jumps into the suit and he's asking Jarvis, have I been poisoned?
Yeah.
Check the heart. And then it's like, no, you had a panic attack.
Yeah.
It was powerful.
No, for sure.
It fleshed out this character even more.
It did.
I'd seen so much of him.
Yeah.
And then to see him weak when everything was going good.
Right.
It was different when somebody else was making him feel weak.
Sure.
But with this, it's literally
it's himself.
I literally just destroyed an entire alien army.
Right.
You should be on top of the world. But it didn't bounce back for him.
No. Oh, no.
So, yeah, I don't know. I love this movie.
My favorite part is, when he doesn't have the armor for like half the movie.
Stark out of the suit.
He has to make these weapons.
It's like Home Alone-esque weapons.
Right, there you go. Like Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
It really shows that he's not the suit.
Exactly.
Tony Stark is the hero.
Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he says I am Iron Man, he means that
Yeah.
He means that Tony Stark is the effing hero.
And my boy Jarvis, man, I loved Jarvis's interaction in this.
Oh, yeah.
And believe it or not, internet, I started to wonder after this movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If Jarvis was going to be the Vision.
Yep.
I posed this question to Eric. I was like, man, Jarvis was almost like his own character in this one. More so than any of the other movies. He was like very much alive.
Yeah.
Interactive. He's got problems. He tells Tony that he needs to take a nap.
Yeah.
He's going through problems like this. He was so fleshed out, and I was like, man, that would be really interesting. And then our boy Joss does the magic and makes it happen.
We should address the Mandarin.
Address it. You do.
Okay. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
And we get a kind of a bait and switch in the movie where Ben Kingsley is set up as this character, the Mandarin. Turns out it's a red herring, and he's basically just an actor playing this part.
Trevor.
Yeah. And he actually doesn't realize he's killing people. He's just kind of he's a drunk. Drug addict, basically just your average out-of-work actor before they get work. But a lot of people hated this.
A lot of people did, and this makes Aldrich Killian, played by Guy Pearce.
Yeah, he's the main antagonist, and
and he says that he is the Mandarin when all is said and done.
Right, but I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah, it wasn't what everybody wanted because we'd all kind of clamored for the Mandarin since Iron Man 1.
Right,
Excuse me.
I was a fan of the of the twists.
I was too.
And, to a lot of people's, and to a lot of unpopular opinion, people are like, what? Why did you like that? And I'm like, it's because it subverted my expectations. I didn't see it coming.
We did. Nobody, even in The Dark Knight, we all kind of were thinking, or not in The Dark Knight, in Batman Begins, when Ra's dies, I think we were both like, man, that's too bad.
Deckard is definitely maybe.
I think we thought, oh man, they messed up because Deckard it should have been Ra's al Ghul,
right?
We kind of saw that we didn't see it as a bait and switch, and I like that, and I like this bait and switch. I thought that they sold it really well. It made sense to me.
Me too.
Now, yes, we didn't actually get a Mandarin,
which is a bummer.
The Ten Rings in the comic books.
There's so much they could have done with it,
and they all do different powers, and it's a big deal.
I think the reason they didn't do that is because it's a little too close to the Infinity Gauntlet. If you think about it.
Oh,
I think maybe like, if we do these rings, then Thanos isn't really, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that. I never thought about that.
So maybe that's why we can't do him having power rings. It's too crazy.
Yeah. These garments that have these garments and jewelry.
Right.
We can't. Okay, no, that makes sense. Actually,
I was under the impression that Mandarin in this movie was going to be like this sort of calculating, down and dirty like terrorist.
Yeah.
Where he's using technology of yesteryear to take down Tony.
Yeah.
Like it's stuff that's so old and out of reach that his stuff doesn't even compute it because it's not on his radar.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking we were going to get. And if you remember the trailer, I mean, Kingsley just is terrifying.
He's terrifying.
He's like, you never see me coming. You're
like,
oh! But, again, I was laughing so hard. I mean, in the theater watching this on opening night, when that happened, you heard half laughter and half groaning.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who hated it.
It was so divisive. But I am a fan of the bait and switch.
I also like the kind of foreshadowing of Pepper in the costume.
Yeah.
That prehensile suit that Tony made.
Yeah.
That comes, positioning from how he moves and everything. I thought that was so much fun. It was cool to see, because every time they do it, it's like, how are you going to improve the suit? Right. How are you going to make the suit seem cooler to us now? Right. And they've literally done it 6 times. So it's like, dang, they got a new costume.
And then they literally gave us 1 million of them at the end.
Yeah, there was 42, 43.
Right? And you're like, whoa.
You got to see so many different ones, and they were even shouting the names out of them.
Right.
And Jarvis was controlling all of them.
Right.
So it was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. I even liked watching Happy kind of struggle with his place.
Right. What is his... My favorite line from him is like, what's up, everybody? I'm Iron Man's bodyguard.
Yeah.
That's just brilliant.
Now he's head of security for Stark Industries, and he's like super anal, trying to make sure everybody's got a badge on, and all of those things. But it's like, he doesn't know what he's supposed to do.
Right.
He went from being Tony's guy for so long, and he just doesn't know.
Right. His character
where he fits.
Yeah, and it's cool because they dress it. And, I think he develops more.
He does.
We get a sidekick development in these movies, and you start rooting for Happy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
very excited. I hope Happy and May date a little bit.
Yeah, how cool would that be?
It seemed like they might. So, the scene that was so good for me was when that Extremis guy, takes the War Machine armor, takes the president, and then those people get thrown out into the sky, like from the Air Force One. Dude, Tony having to catch them, even though the weight capacity is not right, dropping them in the ocean. That scene is so intense.
What was they called it? The Barrel of Monkeys, right?
Yeah.
Everyone grab your monkey. Yeah, dude, that was cool.
I mean, it still looks good. It still looks so good.
It really does.
And it was such a great kind of big scene with a lot of practical effects.
Oh, for sure.
There was a group of people who jumped out of
an airplane. Yeah.
And it looked so good, and was kind of felt homage-y to like an 80s type thing.
Sure.
Like, Shane Black is king of the 80s,
He is king of that 80s action and dialogue, and I felt like we got that in this, but it was an updated version of it. I felt like Shane Black adapted to the times, and he was able to transcend his dialogue and his action.
Yes, I completely agree.
I can't give enough respect for Shane Black. I mean, he's been such a big part of my childhood because, just my father sat me down and made me watch all of these action movies when I probably shouldn't have been watching them. It's like, I had to watch Lethal Weapon and Die Hard and Predator, which he actually is in.
He is in
He's
Predator.
the guy with the glasses. Yeah.
Jeez.
So it's just great to see his writing style still be relevant.
Yes, it really is. You know, he had a movie come out a couple years ago called The Nice Guys.
Which is great. It's one of my favorite
enjoy
movies.
it, but it's just okay.
Really, I love it.
I really like it, but man, nobody watched it.
I know, it's a bummer, because for me, it was like, wow, this is the new Lethal Weapon.
I mean, it felt like I would watch the sequel. I would watch the sequel.
Oh, me too, big time. You know, I thought it was amazing. You know, oh yeah, real quick, I just a quick thought. We get a little Iron Patriot action in this.
Yes, we do. I didn't even think about it like that.
I just remembered that. I'm like, yeah, wow, that is a cool deep cut from the comic books. Actually, that's Norman Osborn.
Norman Osborn is Iron Patriot, and at the time it wasn't that deep because it was happening in comics. No, yeah, it had just happened like the year before. So it was cool to see them adapt something so soon, and we start to see that in later films. So things like Ronin in Endgame and everything, like that's a newer 10 plus years ago now, but that's not like an old
from the Stanley Kirby years.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So much of the Stanley Kirbys and the Ditkos and all of that stuff these are just like they've been incorporating more new stuff because they know, oh hey, our current fans are watching too.
Right.
So let's throw them some bones as well. You know?
And then it's cool because arguably these movies make people want to read comic books more.
Yes, and I'm fine with the whole subculture created of people who are just MCU fans. Like, they don't read comics at all.
Right.
They are just die hard, dyed in the wool. I've seen all 22 movies 22 times
there
a piece.
There you go. I know and adore those people. Yeah. Like I meet them and it's so cool to watch them get into the lore.
Yeah.
And then when you give them a little tidbit, they get super excited. Like, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you always make it better for them, you know? I mean, it's cool.
It does make some of them want to read, but you know, still that stigma of walking into a comic store, seeing the sweaty guy behind the register, that still very much exists. There's a lot of stores that aren't like that, but it still exists, and it puts some people off. There's a stigma with the reading of the comics. If you're listening and you only watch the movies, you got to pick up some comics. It's great. It's a good salve in between film releases. Okay?
Sure. There you go. Get your fix.
Were there any kind of missed opportunities from the franchise?
You know, I would like to. I wish they would have maybe addressed, because there's such a big thing in the comic books, is Tony's alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
I know they did the PTSD thing, which I think that was kind of maybe subbing in for the alcoholism. I mean, granted, I think he did have that in Iron Man 2, right?
Yeah.
He was drinking too much.
Yeah.
But I wish they would have made it more of a point.
Yeah.
To deal with it.
I just think it would have been too heavy, man.
Sure.
It'd have been too heavy.
I get it. And that was such a big milestone in the comic books.
Yeah, it was.
You know, I mean,
the Demon in the Bottle story.
Right, yeah.
I feel like Whiplash was really wasted.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of took two of Tony's villains, the Crimson Dynamo, and really Whiplash isn't even a strict like Iron Man villain, but they took Whiplash and the Crimson Dynamo.
Yeah,
Crimson Dynamo's Russian Iron Man, basically.
There you go, yeah.
And they made him, Whiplash in this movie. And I felt like his fight in Iron Man 2 was pretty weak.
Pretty weak, you're right.
And you even forget that Whiplash is in the movie for a time. He's just like not on screen for a long time.
Which is a bummer, because I really think Mickey Rourke did a good job.
He was awesome.
He was really good. He was menacing.
Awesome with what he
did.
He just didn't have much to do.
There you go. And I think that's what he said. He said, I was there, and I felt like my best stuff was on the cutting room floor. And I get it. I mean, you show up to do these, and Mickey Rourke doesn't mince words.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he's all business for the most part.
Right, right.
If he's not boxing in Russia, he's trying to make some movies. In Iron Man 1, I think that's the only one that the technology is dated.
Sure.
Tony, after Iron Man 1, all of Tony's like phones and everything are things that you don't think you're going to see for years.
There you go.
Whereas in Iron Man 1, it was something that was already out.
Right.
And it was just like a weird slide flip phone thing.
Yeah.
And then in Iron Man 2, he's like taking over the Pentagon's computers and everything. So I think that they didn't know where the road was going to take them.
Sure.
But they really needed to shoot farther ahead.
There you go.
And they learned immediately.
Right.
Okay, we can't have these, because even in Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, there's tech in there that we don't have.
Right.
Whereas, again, in Iron Man 1, there's tons of tech in there that we have and have surpassed.
Sure.
So I think that they figured out what they have to do. That it's not too bananas to have Tony have nanites come out of his power core.
There you go.
We want to see that.
We did, and I'm so glad they did that with Infinity War and Endgame, I guess. Because that was the first appearance of the nanites in the movies, right?
Yeah, I think it was in Infinity War. Was nanotech?
Oh, that's because he talks to Bruce about it.
That's right. Yeah. So you got to see what I got going on and da 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 da. Yeah, it's that's a big misstep there. And then obviously in Iron Man 3, not using the real Mandarin.
Yeah, but
leaving
then
that
again,
on the table. But I'm better off with it now that you made mention of the similarities from the Gauntlet and the rings.
Right.
Makes total sense.
Exactly.
Makes total sense.
You know, they could have easily went with what I talked about earlier, like, oh, let's just make him a terrorist genius.
Yeah.
But no, let's make this crazy. Let's make him a down and out actor.
The patsy.
A patsy.
Yeah.
Let's make him a patsy. And,
Yeah,
I know it. PO'd a lot of the old school comic fans, but this isn't the comics.
Yeah.
This is a take on the comic
Yes.
books. You want the comics? They're there. Go read them.
Yes.
They're there.
Yeah.
That's where I stand on it.
And this is a different take than making Dark Phoenix not make any sense. Okay, they took things.
Well,
in this
there's a difference between respecting your source material,
yes,
and paying homage to it, and then just straight up ignoring it.
Yes,
which
exactly.
That's what Dark Phoenix did.
Yeah,
and that's the movie that what's her name? Is
Sophie
Turner is in two fledgling franchises.
Yeah, ends of
franchises just ran him into the ground.
I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying
we're saying it's her fault. Well, come at me, Sophie Turner.
Right. Guys, that's our show for today. Like I said, we're probably going to do this as a series.
Yeah.
We're going to do Cap or Thor next, something like that. But we're going to spread it out maybe just once a month for you guys. So if you didn't hear something that you think is cool, definitely leave us a comment on YouTube. If you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button, hit the likes, leave us a review. It'll help us get seen by more people.
Definitely.
Eric, did you learn anything today, my man?
I think I having researched for this show, I think I have a better appreciation for Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
I really do, man.
I agree with you.
Yeah. But that's what I learned. And I learned I love Iron Man. R.I.P. Tony Stark.
Oh, God. Spoiler. If you
haven't seen Endgame, you're losing it.
Yeah,
you're
Christine.
losing.
I learned that I used to be really hard on these comic book movies early, and I've since loosened my grip, and I've allowed myself to enjoy things, even some of the stuff that's not as strong, which we'll get to in later shows.
Absolutely.
For the REC podcast, I have been Roman Chavez.
Still Eric Icarus.
Check us out on Instagram at REC Comics.
Buy some stuff.
And thank you so much for listening.